Last week, we looked at a bigger question. Where could Japan's future economic growth come from? You remember what we discussed? Yes, we identified four sectors that I believe are very important to watch over for long term. Those are, the first one is AI and semiconductor. The second one, nuclear energy. The third one, healthcare innovation. And the fourth one is factory automation. So this week, rather than simply giving the company list of all those sectors, I want to share with you why these sectors could matter to Japan's economy. So starting this week, we are going to look at these sectors one by one. And we are starting with one of the biggest transformation happening in global economy right now. Yes, is none other than AI and semiconductors. Let's see why AI is also a semiconductor story. Starting like this, when people hear about the AI revolution, what are the companies usually come to your mind? Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, OpenAI. But these companies are originated from US, isn't it? Then how Japan could benefit from AI? To know this, we have to look at the basic architecture of AI design. AI doesn't run on software alone. AI needs enormous computing power, and that computer power depends on semiconductors. So you need chip design, you need semiconductor manufacturer, you need chip testing and measurement facilities and infrastructure, you need packaging. This is where Japan becomes very interesting, and Japan may not be the dominant country in AI application, but Japan has something extremely important, a deep semiconductor supply chain. That's where opportunity is much broader, and Japan can participate in many of the critical layers underneath AI boom. Let's simplify even more the semiconductor ecosystem. Imagine AI as a huge building. The AI application are at the top, but underneath them there are many layers supporting the building, and Japan has companies operating in several layers of those. For example, semiconductor manufacturing equipment, chip testing, electronic components, specialty material. This is why I think investors should look beyond the obvious AI companies. The AI boom creates demand throughout the semiconductor ecosystem as well, and Japan already has a decades of expertise in that ecosystem. So now let's look at some of the important Japanese players. First, Tokyo Electron. Tokyo Electron is one of the world's major semiconductor manufacturing equipment company, and this is most important because semiconductor companies does not need just chips. They need the machines that manufacture those chips. As chip technology becomes more advanced, the manufacturing process becomes more complicated. So when we think about AI boom, we shouldn't only ask who makes AI chips. We should also ask who provides the equipment required to manufacture advanced chips. That's where Tokyo Electron becomes an important company to understand. The next Advantest, and this is another company that fits beautifully into the AI semiconductor story. Advantest specializes in semiconductor test system. Why does testing matter? Because after a semiconductor is manufactured, manufacturer need to test whether it performs correctly. And as a chip becomes more powerful and complex, testing becomes increasingly sophisticated, not necessarily of making the chip itself, but helping ensure the chip works as intended. So this is one of the reasons I find Japan's semiconductor ecosystem is so interesting. The third company I want to highlight is Renesas Electronics. Renesas is a major semiconductor Japanese company with exposure to areas like automotive, industrial, and embedded applications such as cars, factories, robots, IoT devices, and energy system, and many other technologies. So as Japan moves towards smarter factories, more automation, and increasingly software-defined products such as semiconductor demand can spread across the economy. So that we would like to cover directly in another sector, which is factory automation. Another company worth understanding is Fujitsu. Fujitsu is not simply a semiconductor manufacturer. Its role is very broader, such as AI computing, digital infrastructure, enterprise AI adoption, data processing, and AI services. So when we are looking at the future Japanese economy, we should think about the entire ecosystem rather than putting every company into simple category. Now, let's set back. Why could AI and semiconductor to be so important for Japan's future economy? In my opinion, I see four major reasons. Number one, global AI demand. Number two, Japan already has a deep industrial expertise. Number three, supply chain diversification. And number four, government support. Yes, Japan has fit AI and semiconductors into strategic priorities. So, this is not just an AI trend, it is also an industrial policy story. So, what should be the takeaway? Japan's AI opportunity isn't simply about creating the next big AI application. It's about something more deeper. So, first understand the trend, then industry, then the companies. So, and only after that should you think about the valuation and investment decision. So, a great company can be a still poor investment if you pay an excessive price. So, this is not a stock recommendation video. The goal is to understand the industry first. This video was a part 1 of our Japan Future Economy series, AI and Semiconductors. Next, we are going to see another sector that could become increasingly important for Japan. That's none other than nuclear energy. Because if AI needs more computing, it also needs more electricity. I will see you in the next video. And as always, do your own research, think long term, and invest with a plan.